Alice ran for 9 seasons on CBS, starting in 1976, and turned a Phoenix diner counter into one of the most lived-in workplaces in sitcom history. The cast that made Mel's Diner feel real went in directions that were remarkable, heartbreaking, and in far too many cases, final. Here is where they all ended up. Number 1, we have Vic Tayback as Mel Sharples, the gruff, perpetually exasperated diner owner whose bark was almost always louder than whatever he was actually feeling underneath it. Born Victor Tayback, he was 46 when the show launched in 1976 and carried a distinction that no other cast member shared. He was the only actor from the original 1974 film Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore to reprise his role when the television version arrived, a continuity that gave the series an authenticity it might otherwise have had to manufacture. 2 Golden Globes recognized what audiences already knew across 202 episodes. He married Sheila McKay Barnard in March 1963, and they remained together until his death, raising one son named Christopher. Vic Tayback passed away on May 25, 1990, at just 60 years old from a heart attack, still well within what should have been his most productive years. He would have been 96 in 2026. Number 2, we have Polly Holiday as Flo Castleberry, the sharp-tongued, big-hearted Texas waitress whose catchphrase became so embedded in the culture that it outlasted the show by decades. 39 years old at the premiere, she built Flo into something so compelling across 90 episodes that CBS gave the character her own spin-off series before she had even finished her run on Alice. The films that followed, including Gremlins and The Parent Trap, introduced her to audiences who had never spent time at Mel's Diner. And the stage work she sustained across the decades kept her active well past when most performers would have stepped back. She never married and had no children, a choice she spoke about directly over the years as one she made deliberately rather than one that simply happened. Polly Holiday passed away on September 9, 2025, at 88 years old from pneumonia, the last surviving original main cast member of the show. She would have been 88 in 2026. Number 3, we have Philip McKeon as Tommy Hyatt, Alice's teenage son who grew up across all 9 seasons of the show in real time, joining the cast at 11 and finishing it at 20 with the cameras having documented almost the entire stretch of his adolescence. The 197 episodes he appeared in make him one of the most consistently present members of the entire cast, a fact that often gets overlooked when conversations about the show focus on the diner counter rather than the home it was attached to. He never married, and in his later years moved to Texas to be closer to his sister, actress Nancy McKeon, a sibling bond that stayed central to his life long after the industry had moved on from both of them. He transitioned into producing and directing after the show ended and hosted a local radio program in Wimberley, Texas before a long illness took hold. Philip McKeon passed away on December 10, 2019, at 55 years old. He would have been 61 in 2026. Number 4, we have Beth Howland as Vera Louise Gorman, the anxious, accident-prone waitress whose nervous energy and genuine warmth made her one of the most quietly affecting members of a cast full of larger personalities. She was 37 at the premiere and brought a fragility to Vera that never tipped into caricature across all 202 episodes. Before Alice, she had built serious Broadway credentials, and the theatrical training underneath the sitcom performance was visible to anyone paying attention. Her personal life moved through 2 very different marriages. A first marriage to actor Michael J. Pollard through the 1960s produced a daughter, and decades later she married actor Charles Kimbrough in 2002, a partnership that lasted until her death. She chose to keep her battle with lung cancer entirely private, a decision so complete that her passing on December 31, 2015, at 76 years old, was not publicly announced until months afterward. She would have been 86 in 2026. Number 5, we have Marvin Kaplan as Henry, the mild-mannered telephone repairman who became a fixture at Mel's Diner across 82 episodes and whose gentle presence provided a consistent counterweight to the louder personalities surrounding him. He was 50 when his recurring role began in 1977 and arrived already carrying a voice-acting career that stretched back to the 1950s. Most people who grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons knew that voice without ever connecting it to his face. He originated the role of Choo Choo in Top Cat, a character that generations of children recognized without knowing the name of the man behind it. His marriage to Rosa Felsenberg ended in 1976, the same year his Alice run began. Beyond the acting work, he served as president of the London Trust for Children and remained active within the Screen Actors Guild right up until the end. Marvin Kaplan passed away on August 25, 2016, at 89 years old. He would have been 99 in 2026. Number 6, we have Diane Ladd as Belle Dupree, the brash, colorful waitress who stepped in to fill the flow-shaped gap when Polly Holliday departed for her spin-off and spent 23 episodes making the role entirely her own. Born Rose Diane Ladner, she was 44 when she joined the cast in 1980 and brought an Oscar-nominated career's worth of experience to a part that required someone capable of holding ground alongside performers who had spent 4 years settling into their rhythms. 3 marriages mark her personal history. A marriage to actor Bruce Dern from 1960 to 1969 produced 2 daughters, one of them being actress Laura Dern, making them one of Hollywood's most accomplished mother-daughter pairs. A third marriage to Robert Charles Hunter in 1999 lasted until his death in July 2025. Just months later, on November 3, 2025, Diane Ladd passed away at 89 years old. She would have been 90 in 2026, and in 2023, she and Laura had co-authored the book Honey, Baby, Mine Together, a final collaborative chapter between 2 performers who shared far more than a last name. Number 7, we have Dave Madden as Earl Hicks, the amiable diner regular whose 35 episodes across 7 seasons gave the show a consistent face at that counter that audiences recognized without always knowing his name. He was 46 when he first appeared in 1978, though most viewers at that point already associated his face with Reuben Kincaid from The Partridge Family, a role that had made him one of the more recognizable supporting presences on American television through the early 1970s. His first marriage to Nana Arnold from 1975 to 1985 produced 2 children, and he later married Sandra Martin in 1998, a partnership that lasted until his death. A voice acting career ran alongside the on-screen work across those same decades, and in 2007, he published his memoirs under the title Reuben on Rye, a book that let him tell his own story rather than wait for someone else to tell it for him. Dave Madden passed away on January 16, 2014, at 82 years old. He would have been 94 in 2026. Number 8, we have Celia Weston as Jolene Honeycutt, the warm, Southern-drawled waitress who arrived in 1981 to take over the vacancy left by Flo's departure and spent 90 episodes building a character with enough texture to feel like she had always been there. 29 years old when she joined the cast, she is 74 today. The television role was an early marker in what became one of the more quietly distinguished dramatic careers of her generation. Dead Man Walking and The Talented Mr. Ripley are among the film credits that established her as a character actress whose presence could shift the weight of any scene she appeared in. She has never married or had children, a situation she has discussed frankly in interviews, citing the financial unpredictability of a performing career as something that made conventional domestic planning genuinely difficult. Across the years, she was building her professional life. Her most recent television credit came in 2025 with a role in the Netflix sitcom Leanne. Number 10, we have Martha Raye as Carrie Sharples, Mel's mother, who arrived for 12 episodes across 5 seasons and brought the kind of theatrical force that made every scene she shared with Vic Tayback feel like a genuine contest between 2 people who had been perfecting their craft since before most of the cast was born. Born Margie Reed, she was 62 when she first appeared in 1979, already decades into a career that had taken her from vaudeville through Hollywood musicals, television, and USO tours that earned her the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1993. 7 marriages filled her personal biography, ending finally with her marriage to manager Mark Harris in 1991, a union that drew significant public attention given the 33-year age gap between them. Martha Raye passed away on October 19, 1994, at 78. She would have been 109 in 2026. Number 11. We have Charles Levin as Elliot Novak, the cook who joined Mel's Diner for the show's final 2 seasons, and brought 25 episodes of comedic energy to a kitchen that had been running its own rhythms for 7 years before he arrived. He was 35 when he joined in 1984, already building a television resume that would eventually include Hill Street Blues and one of the most quoted guest appearances in Seinfeld history, playing the Mohel in the episode known as The Briss. He married Catherine DeHetra in 1983, and they had 2 children together before her death in 2007. The circumstances of his own passing became a major news story in 2019 when he was reported missing in Oregon, with his body discovered days later after he had accidentally fallen down an embankment when his car became stranded on a remote road. Charles Levin passed away in June 2019 at 70 years old. He would have been 77 in 2026, Number 13, we have Linda Lavin as Alice Hyatt, the determined, warm-hearted waitress and aspiring singer whose 202 episodes across 9 seasons carried the entire weight of the show on her shoulders from the very first episode to the very last. 38 years old at the premiere, she arrived with substantial Broadway experience behind her and brought a specificity to Alice that prevented the character from ever becoming just a symbol of working-class resilience rather than an actual person. 3 marriages shaped her personal life. A first marriage to actor Ron Liebman ended in 1981, and she then married actor Kip Niven in 1982, a partner whose name appears elsewhere in the Alice credits as a recurring guest. That marriage ended in 1992, and she married artist and musician Steve Bakunis in 2005, a partnership that lasted until her death. A Tony Award, recent television work including Netflix's No Good Deed in 2024, and decades of stage performance across multiple generations of theatergoers all tell the story of someone who never stopped working. Linda Lavin passed away on December 29, 2024, at 87 years old from complications following a recent lung cancer diagnosis. She would have been 88 in 2026. Number 15, we have Victoria Carroll as Marie, a recurring presence across 9 episodes between 1977 and 1985, whose appearances spanned almost the entire run of the show without being locked into a single sustained storyline. She was around 35 when her first appearance aired in 1978 and is 83 today, making her one of the very few members of this cast still living in 2026. The comedic sensibility and voice work she developed across her career gave her a range that moved between sitcoms and animation with the ease of someone who understood both mediums well. She has maintained a private personal life across the decades since her time on the show, with no widely documented relationships or marriages entering the public record. She has been retired from professional acting for some years now, a quiet step back from an industry she contributed to steadily for more than 2 decades. 9 seasons, 15 cast members, and a diner counter that somehow became one of the most familiar addresses in American television history. Which story from this cast stayed with you the most? Leave it in the comments and subscribe for more.